YouTube. What's the dealio? What's the dealio? Hey man, we got a banger today, man. We on live. It's Sunday. We talking about the market this week. All right. So be sure to get your notepad. I got some plays for you guys today, and I want to talk about the market and what's going on. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a couple minutes. Let some people pile in. If you're just hopping on, say what's up. Say what's up, and be sure to like this video. All right. I came in a little early this week. This time zones threw me off a little bit, but yeah, we here. How is everybody doing today? How y'all weekend? What's up, Mason? What's up, QT? Shiley? What's up, SA? What's the dealio? I'm a little hot, y'all. My bad. Woo, I'm a little hot. But yeah, we got last week was a crazy week, to say the least. Last week was a crazy week, man. So I want to unpack that a little bit, and also talk about this coming up week, right? I'm seeing like a ton of different setups, but at the same time, I want to make sure that these setups aren't really like trying to fake us out, because last week we got faked out. Well, a lot of people got faked out. All right. So yeah, had a great weekend. You was playing Spy last week. Okay. What's up, Marcia? How you doing? What's up, Kelton? How you feeling today? All right. So I don't want to hold y'all up. I don't want to waste y'all time, man. So we gonna just get into it. First things first. The market. Okay. Why is the market? What's up, Best B? Why is the market going up and down? Why is the market going up and down? So I want you guys to think about this. We're gonna refer to the guy as number 47, right? Number 47 or number 47. What's up, Exclusive? What's up, Arif? What up? So 47 said he gonna do the tariffs, right? I'm so over this tariff talk, but it's important because this is what's going on in the world right now. You get what I'm saying? So it is what it is. If you're just tuning in, be sure to like this video for me. All right? Be sure to like this video for me. So 47 said tariffs and all this other stuff, right? Now, the thing about it is there's something called treasury bonds. All right? If you don't know what treasury bonds are, basically it's a loan, right? That whoever loans the money is going to collect a percentage of interest off of, okay? So let me break this down for you. China is one of the biggest holders of treasury bonds of the US, okay? Japan is the largest one. Now, this is what's going on, just so that you guys can understand why the stock market is going up and why it's going down, all right? Now, and all hedge funds and stuff, they know this stuff, right? They pay attention to this stuff. So China is one of the largest holders of treasury bonds, okay? So they was holding like 1.3 trillion in treasury bonds of the US. So basically, treasury bonds, China was like, okay, we'll loan you 1.3 trillion. You're going to pay us interest on it, okay? And that's it. So that's what the US and China is doing. Same with US and Japan and US and a lot of other countries too. That's why they say the US has all this debt, okay? Operating off of debt and credit. So now, top of the year, end of the year, they had 1.3 trillion in treasury bonds, okay? Now, this is very important for you to understand. So now, right now as we sit, we're at like $750 billion in treasury bonds. Okay? So what that means is China was like, okay, US, you guys want to put tariffs on our stuff? What we gonna do is we gonna start selling off these treasury bonds. Okay? So let me break this down for you. If you just tuning in, be sure to say what's up in the comments and also like this video. Okay, let's get this video to 100 likes. All right, I'm giving life-changing information, and the only thing I ask for is a like on this video. All right, so be sure to like this video. So they went from 1.3 trillion to about 750 billion in treasury bonds. They started selling it off. Okay, now let me ask you a question. If you have, let's say you got $5,000, right? You got $5,000 cash, and I'm like, I will loan you 25K. Okay, I'm gonna loan you 25K, right? Now, on that 25,000, you got to pay me 2 times a year interest. All right, so that you can keep your cash flow. All right, cool. Now, while I'm loaning you the money and you just paying 2 times a year, that's fine, right? It ain't no issues. But what happens is, what if I tell you, all right, I don't like how you acting. You not holding up your end of the bargain. You tripping right now. I want you to pay me right now my 25K, or I'm gonna sell this off. Right? Your 5K is now going to decrease in value. Okay? Your 5K is going to decrease in value. That's what's going on with the US right now. So China had 1.3 trillion in treasury bonds. They sold off what? 600 billion. And because they sold off 600 billion in treasury bonds, the stock market started to drop. Okay? Now, if they keep selling off, the US is in trouble. The US is in big trouble. Okay? So, that's why if it keeps going down, who's going to have to step in? The Federal Reserve. Okay? Federal Reserve. Right? And that's why we hear and talk about interest rates are going to have to drop pretty soon, because if the Federal Reserve has to step in, they don't want to step in, but it's something called quantitative easing and something else called quantitative tightening. Okay? So if they want to, they could basically make the economy, expand and get smaller, right? And get tighter. Right? Quantitative easing and quantitative tightening. If they want to do quantitative easing, that means that the economy is going to start going up, right? Because people are going to be able to borrow more money. If they do quantitative tightening, that could mean that interest rates are going to go up, so that people aren't borrowing money as much or at a fast pace. If the cheaper the money is to borrow, the more people are going to borrow. So if things are getting out of control right now, then they're going to quantitative tighten it, right? Slow down the economy. And then when things are too slow, they're going to do quantitative easing and slowly drop interest rates. Okay? So I want you guys to understand that. That's first thing. Like, this is real game. That's why the stock market went down. So here's what happened. They had a meeting. It was a 10-year meeting, and bonds, people bought into more bonds, treasury bonds, like countries, and they did not say that they were going to sell off. Now, number 47 is like, oh, we're going to pause tariffs, right? He's saying that because he knew that meeting went well, and they weren't going to sell off any more bonds, right? So because he knew they weren't selling off any more bonds, he knew that the economy was going to be okay. And then he said, we're going to pause tariffs, and then boom. Now what's going to happen is, most likely, as long as, China and the U.S. remain okay, China's treasury bond position is going to start increasing a little bit more again, right? And what that means is, that means that China is comfortable with loaning the U.S. money because now the relationship is a little bit better. And if they're okay with loaning us money, then our economy will be okay and it will continue to go up, right? If that makes sense, let me know. If that makes sense, let me know in the comments, because this is critical to understanding the actual market, okay? The actual market. This stuff is critical to understanding the actual market. Before we talk about plays and the charts, you got to understand what's going on from a global economy perspective, right? The global financial markets, all right? So if that makes sense, let me know. SA said, listen close. This info is gold. Yeah, this stuff is very, very, very important. All right. Like this stuff is, it'll make you a lot of money. All right. What's up, 808 Banga? What's up, Jamil? William, what's the dealio? What's the dealio? What's up, Jeffrey? Ron, what up? What up? What's up, Mikey? All right. Qtisha said makes sense. Exclusive said it makes sense. All right, cool. So, if you want to, the hedge funds, they've been paying attention to this stuff, right? Because they manage so many people's money, they can't panic sell, right? What if a hedge fund that was managing, $120 million of investments panic sold last week, and then everything shot back up? The people that invested with them would be tight. They would be mad, right? That would be catastrophic. So hedge fund owners are always paying attention to treasury bonds. All right? So this is real life. So make sure you're paying attention to these things that not a lot of people are talking about. All right? Seriously. SA said, to give perspective here, since listening to Isaiah 3 months ago, my account went from 93 to 633. That's amazing. Shout out to you, SA. He said, GOAT status, actually not clickbait. Hey, now real talk. I'm not here to just, get you to watch a video. You know what I'm saying? Like I really wanna change your life. All right? Real talk. So yeah, shout out to you, SA. So yeah, like this video. We about to start getting into the charts. But I want you guys to understand what's really going on and how to really understand this stuff. All right? So I wanted to take a little bit of time to talk about that first before we talk about the SPY and the charts and stuff. Because honestly, that's the easy stuff. But if I give you a play, right? If I give you, okay, this stock is going to go here. But then it's up to you to start paying attention to the other things that I'm sharing with you, and you start thinking for yourself and figuring out how this all works together. Okay? So a lot of people think that, trading is all about just the charts. What stock I need to buy? Option or call? What strike price? I want you to really understand that that's the easy part about it all. That's the simple stuff. Okay? I want you to start thinking deeper about this stuff. Because this right here, this information that I'm breaking down for you and decoding could make you tens of thousands of dollars over the next 2 weeks. It could make you $5,000 over the next 2 weeks. It could make you hundreds of thousands of dollars over the next year, right? So please make sure you are taking this very serious because nobody gonna break it down like this. All right. So now let's go and talk about the actual market now. Okay. Let's talk about the market now. All right. Let's go get into the charts. All right. Let's go get into the charts. So, if we go to the charts, we're gonna talk about the SPY first. All right, the SPY and the QQQ. All right, SPY and the Nasdaq. Now, last week was the most volatile week. Okay, before we get into the charts, we got the whole tariff situation, the pause on tariffs, right? Crazy up and down motion. All right. So, and then on Friday, after the market closed, well, really Saturday, on April 12th, April 12th was yesterday, okay? They announced that the tariffs are going to be exempt for chips, accessories, basically phones, and I forget what the other one is. But I want you to understand that those basically are all the stocks that everybody is invested in and everybody trades. Right? Think about that. Those are the stocks that everybody invests in and everybody trades. So they're like, all right, we're gonna have tariffs, but we're gonna pause tariffs. And then the 125% tariffs from China is gonna be exempt for these specific categories. And those categories fall under the stocks that we all like to trade. Okay? Now, we don't know what's going to happen, right? I do expect more volatility. Okay? I do expect more volatility. And in the spirit of what I just told you, okay, if you start seeing stocks going down, right? If you start seeing stocks going down, I want you to pay attention to the actual treasury bonds. Okay? What's up, Marlonius? So, let's go and let's now look at the charts and everything like that. So, first things first, we got earnings, okay? This week, we got a couple more banks, all right? Goldman Sachs, M&T, Citi, Bank of America, United, and then we got ASML. I used to trade them quite a bit, and then we got TSM, Taiwan Semiconductors, and then we got Netflix. Okay, I'm really paying attention to these two right here, TSM and Netflix. So on Monday morning, well, really Thursday trading day, and then Friday trading day, we're gonna be able to get some momentum from TSM and also Netflix. Okay, so we're gonna see what's up with these two. But this is the earnings calendar. Okay. Now let's go to the SPY. All right, let's go to the SPY. Mikey said, I'm going to punch Goldman Sachs in his sacks tomorrow. It's looking like a setup. That's what's up. We could go look at it real quick later on. But all right, cool. So we got the SPY, right? So I want you guys to look at this right here. So right here on the SPY, we had a massive sell-off this day. It really gapped down. So it gapped down and then it came down. So it was opened at 549 and came all the way down to 505 on Thursday. Okay? On Thursday. So this was on Thursday. No, this say Monday the 31st. Oh, I'm looking at the weekly. My bad, y'all. This is the daily. Okay? This is the daily time frame. So this right here is Tuesday. Okay? On Wednesday, we see a bullish engulfing. Okay, this big green candle right here, this is a bullish engulfing. All right. This right here indicates upward momentum. Right. So the next day, SPY closed at 524, and then the next day it closed at 532.70, and it touched 536.43. All right. So what I'm seeing on SPY is this is a range, and we're so close to breaking above this range right here. All right. What we need to do is we need to get above 536.44. Okay. If we could get above 536.44, then we could be heading to 548. Okay. Between 545.97 and 548. Okay. Now, on the SPY, we do have a gap right here that needs to be filled. So this right here is a gap. Okay. So right here, we got a gap. All right. So boom. We got a gap right there. So the gap is between 548 and 554.94. All right. So if I look at the weekly time frame on the SPY, you know what this is right here? Let's go look at it real quick. Let's go look at it real quick. Y'all see this right here? Y'all see that? Looks like a bullish piercing pattern. Okay? So if we look at this, what is 50% of the candle? The 50% mark of the candle is about right here. Right? About right there. So this is the 50% mark of the red candle. All right? And you see that this green candle closed above the 50% mark of this red candle, right? I didn't make this stuff up. This is what it's saying, right? Gap down on open, below close of preceding candle. That's what it did, right? It gapped down below, right? Right there. Closed above 50% of this red candle right here, right? It looked just like it. Closes above the 50% of the preceding bearish candle. All right? That's what that did on a weekly time frame. Okay? So what this tells me is we definitely going to be coming up to fill this gap at from 548 all the way to 555. We're definitely going to fill that gap when we're looking at the daily time frame, okay? The daily time frame. Right? Now, this is the daily. We got some battles to fight. We got to get here. We got to get above here, and then we also got to get through the 200 EMA. All right? 200 EMA is 562. And then we got the 50 EMA right there at 563. All right? If we can get above all of these, then we definitely going to be blasting off, but on a weekly time frame, right? We get through here, then we're going to be testing right there, and then we're going to want to get through right here, which is 569. All right? So that's the SPY. That's what I'm seeing on the SPY. Okay? That's what I'm seeing on the SPY. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to everything that's happening. Ron said Friday looks like a non-trading day. Yeah, Friday is I believe it's something Friday, Good Friday, I believe, or something like that. All right. Um, do I agree for anyone playing options on SPY, we must watch the news in real time as well as announcements? Technicals can definitely be misleading, but I mean, right now in this climate, you do want to pay attention to the news, but don't trade based off of the news, right? Pay attention to the news because there are big catalysts right now, but I wouldn't make a trading decision off of the news. I would still make my trading decisions based off of the charts, but I will be paying attention to the news, and I will also make sure that I have a tight stop loss. Okay. So yeah. So if that makes sense on the SPY, let me know in the comments. All right. Also, if you're watching this video, we got 58 people on here right now. Be sure to like this video. All right. Be sure to like this video. Don't be stingy. All right. Don't be stingy. Like this video. We about to go into the NASDAQ, which is the QQQ, and then we're gonna get into my three setups. All right. We're gonna get into my three setups. I got more, but I don't want to bombard you and overwhelm you, right? I want to go over the QQQ now. QQQ is going to be a little similar. All right, it's going to be a little similar compared to the SPY, okay? But let's go look at it. SA said he quadrupled his account, and he know what he's doing now. Hey man, that's the power of YouTube. All right. Mason said he's gonna start running a hard manual stop loss to force myself to respect it. Yeah. Listen, holding the bag is it's not a good thing. All right, holding the bag is you cannot hold the bag. All right, so make sure you guys are respecting your rules. All right. So, boom. All right, so now let's go to the QQQ. Now the QQQ has a very similar setup. All right, very similar setup on this weekly time frame right here. Y'all see the weekly time frame? This is another piercing pattern. Look at it. It looked just like the SPY, right? It looked just like the SPY. All right. So we got a gap to fill right here. It came to it, but we got some upside action on the QQQ. If we go to the daily, it's already through this EMA right here. We got to get here, and then we got to get here. All right, so your next targets on the QQQ are going to be right here, which is 463.26. All right, this is your next target. And then the target after that is going to be 483.66. All right. All right, boom. So these are your two targets. So QQQ tomorrow, it closed at 454. We could see it potentially touch 463. And we're going to see if it closes around here or above here or not. All right. If we see it close tomorrow above here, then I think that we may have a pullback a little bit, and then we might come and touch this 483, maybe end of the week or sometime later on in the month. All right. So that's what we have. That's what we have on the QQQ and the NASDAQ. All right. So that's what we got on the NASDAQ. All right. So that's the first 30 minutes. I wanted to talk about the treasury bonds. All right. The treasury bonds and then also SPY and also the Nasdaq. All right, because this is the market. This is the market. Now, when we got individual stocks, right? But so think about it. Think about it. If I expect, right? The if I expect the SPY to be going up, then what does that tell me about all the stocks inside of the SPY? Or what does that tell me about all the stocks inside of the QQQ? Right? This is what I'm saying. So, I want you guys to understand that. So the first stock that I have this week that I'm looking at is definitely going to be Apple. All right? So let's look at Apple. Okay? Gonna look at Apple real quick. Let me pull up my screen. All right, cool. So let's look at Apple. All right. Now, pay attention to this. This is on a weekly time frame. It looks like a piercing pattern, but it is not. It's not at 50% of it's not at 50% of the candle yet. So it could reject and come down. Okay. But I do think that Apple is gonna go up. I have a feeling that tomorrow Apple is gonna gap up. Okay. Now let's go to the daily time frame. What's up, Camilo? Nvidia is at record low. Yeah, we're gonna talk about Nvidia a little later. So let's go to the daily time frame. All right, so now let's look at this. We got on Apple, we have a massive gap from here, from 221 all the way to 205. All right. All right. So we got that right there. Now, we also got this little gap right here as well, right? It came up and, filled the gap a little bit here, but we got a small little sliver that needs to be filled to balance out, right? So boom. Let's go. All right. So this is also a gap right here. Okay. So for Apple, we need Apple to break above 200. We could call it above this gap, 201. 201.10. Okay. Above 201. 201. Calls. Okay. If Apple can get above 201.10 and close above there on a daily time frame, then we're going to be coming to 208. And if we can get above there, then we come in easily to 219.12. Really, 219.38. And I mean easily, because this gap right here, this definitely is going to get filled. All right. So I'm paying attention to Apple very, very, very closely. All right. Because it got that news about the tariffs and everything like that. It got some momentum, as you can see. It didn't break through, right? It was trying to break through this 200 level right here. It's a pretty strong level. If you zoom out on a daily time frame, look at this level right here. Look at this level right here. So we got this 200 level, right? I want you guys to pay attention to this right here. All right? This level right here, This is what we call a demand level. We got supply and demand. This is a supply level right here. Okay. Well, no, it's a demand level. Once it breaks above, it'll be a supply level. Okay. So this level right here, look, every time the stock broke through this level to the upside, look where it went to. 231, 236, right? Every time the stock came below this level, right? Or it was below this level, look where it came to. It was all the way down to 165. And look where Apple came. It was 168. Okay? And it came down here because it had to fill this gap as well. All right? This was a gap that Apple had to fill. All right? So this right here is a zone. If we break through here, that's why Apple didn't break above it. And that's why it's been like rejecting off it a little bit. If Apple can come above this range right here, look at this. It came above this range and look where it went. It blasted off. It came above this range right here and look where it did. It blasted off. All right? So we're right here again. If we could get above this range right here again, then we blasting off. Look at the last time it was at this range. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 green days straight. All right. So it went from 200 to 226 in 12 days. All right. All because it broke through this level right here. All right. All because it broke through that level right there. Okay. So if that makes sense, let me know in the comments. Are you using the body of the candle for the gaps or the wicks? I'm using the wicks. No. So it depends. The actual gap, I use the bodies, but if I see a stock wicked into the gap, then I'll count that as a gap fill. All right. So that's my analysis on Apple. Okay. They finessed us. They finessed us with Apple because I was shorting Apple, right? But that news came out and I was like, man, it just made Apple go up, right? Apple went up like $15 on Friday. Okay? So, but if we see Apple come to 200 and then reject and come back down, then we could be coming down to like 190. But I really, really do think that tomorrow the stock market is going to gap up. All right. I'm pretty sure that the market is going to gap up. Okay. So you want to pay attention. Now, if we gap up tomorrow and then we sell off, that's a different story. But what we could do is, depending on how much we gap up, we could come down, fill the gap real quick, bounce, and then go to the upside. All right? You always want to have your if this, then this statement. All right? So if this happens, then I'm going to do this. If this happens, then I'm going to do this. So you want to have your scenarios of if this happens, I'm going to do this. If this happens, I'm going to do this. So that way, no matter what happens, you're ready and you're prepared. All right? So that is the first play that I'm looking at. All right? That is the first play that I'm looking at. If you're watching this and you have not already, do me 2 favors. Drop something in the comments. Let me know where you're tuning in from. All right? And then like this video for me. All right, let's get this video to 100 likes. This is life-changing information, man. All right. Very few people are going to give you the targets on the charts. All right. They may tell you it's going to go up, but they ain't going to give you the actual targets, right? And the real breakdown. So be sure to like this video for me. All right. And let me know where you're tuning in from. Also, subscribe to the channel. All right. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm dropping videos every single day that could change your life. All right. And if you're not, join the Discord and come trade with us on an everyday basis. All right. Come trade with us. Okay. So my second play that I'm looking at, let me pull it up. My second play is we'll do this one. So my second play, now I almost got into this swing about 2 weeks ago, but it rejected and then it started going to the downside. All right. And I'm gonna tell you why it did that. All right, and then we're gonna talk about this one. Okay. So how can I get into the Discord? Just click here and then join. It's only $40 a month. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, it's only $40 a month. So yeah, click there and we live trade every single day. All right. So the next stock that I'm looking at this week is gonna be GEV, which is GE Vernova Incorporated. It's an energy company. All right. Now let's go look at the chart, and I'm gonna tell you what I'm seeing. Okay. So look at this right here. Okay. So we got a downtrend. Okay. Now, this right here, it was at 447, right? We got a clear downtrend. We got lower highs and we got lower lows, okay? But let me pull up my RSI real quick. Let me show y'all something. Okay? So this is my RSI. All right, so this is what we got. Why did this stock come down here at 252 and then blast off and come up here to 330? All right. The reason why is something called bullish divergence. Okay. Now let me break this down for you. All right. Here's what happens. You see how this right here and these are both lows, right? Right here, we got something called a lower low. Right? Now, we got a lower low right here, but on the RSI, the low is actually higher than the previous low, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw this, boom, okay? This is called bullish divergence, and this lets you know that a reversal is coming. Okay? This right here can make you 6 figures, legit, off of this one thing. So it blasted off. Now, if this rejects off of here like it just did and it don't go no higher, then we're going to be coming back down and we're going to create a lower low. All right? So with GE, if we could break out of this channel right here, okay, I'm going to do this. If we can break out of this channel right here, okay, and prove that we could get above 333, right, then we could be coming back up to 350. So if we close above here, then we could get a nice run up. right? Swing entry. All right. If we close above here, we could get a nice entry, and then we could come up here to 350. All right. And then, try to test this right here. If we don't, right? If we don't, and we start coming down off of here, and we start rejecting, then we're gonna stay inside of this downtrend, and then we're gonna come back down, and we're gonna create another lower low, and it's gonna be lower than just 252. Okay, so this would be swing. This would be calls or puts. But if we break above this 333 right here, which is the previous high, then we're gonna be coming at 350. All right. On that one, let me know if that makes sense. Let me know if that makes sense. Yeah, best B killer. So what's up, V? V Ron, what's up? So if we create a lower high, then that means that we're going to create a higher low. And that will mean that we're going to go into an uptrend. Right? We're going to go into an uptrend now. Okay? I hope you understand what I'm saying, because I'm taking my time with these, right? I'm taking my time giving you these plays so that it's really sinking in. I don't like just giving you something real quick, 10 minutes and being out. I like to take my time with stuff. All right? So I was going to get into that play a couple weeks ago, but it rejected and it came down. Right? We created that lower low, and now we coming back up. It just tested a level. If we break through that level, then we about to go crazy. Okay? So, my third play that I want to give you guys, that I'm looking at this week, and this one, I believe that I'm going to enter in tomorrow, depending on how it goes, like how we open up and stuff like that, is MRK. It's a pharmaceutical company, but let's go look at the charts. All right. So look at this one. Oh, before we go to this one, let's go back to GEV real quick. This is on a daily time frame, right? But look at the weekly. Look at this weekly time frame right here. On this weekly time frame, we have a bullish engulfing right here. Okay? This bullish engulfing right here, this green candle engulfs this red candle, which lets me know that we're going to be going to the upside. All right? So I just wanted to give y'all that. That's something I forgot to mention. Okay? So now let's go to MRK. Now let's look at MRK real quick. Let's look at them on the daily. So as you can see, this stock has been ping-ponging, right? Been going up and down in this channel, okay? So you see, came down, went up. Rejected, came down, right here, came up, came down, came up, right? Consolidated, came down, right? Bounced off of here, came up, came down, came up, came down, right? And now I'm looking for one of these rejections right here. So we got a bounce here. We got a bounce here. Okay. And then we got a bounce here. All right. So what should be coming next? We should be having a bounce right here. All right. Now, as you can see, this might make a lower low, but if the stock right now, if this stock closed at $79 and we come, let's say we come right here to create a lower low, which is $86, then that means that we could catch a $6 move, $7 move and get out, right? So we could ride it up here and then we could collect our profits from there. All right. Now, what I see on this one as well is, let me show y'all. Once again, so we got a lower low right here. Okay, right here is a lower low. Let me make this a little bigger for you. So we got a lower low right here, right? On this red candle compared to this lower low right here, right? Now, let's look at it. If we go to this low right here, boom, it was all the way down here. And then this low is right here. Okay? Now, what does that mean? That's more, a little bit lower. There we go. That's more what? Bullish divergence. So I'm looking for something like this to happen right around here. Okay? We're going to call that all right. So I'm looking for this stock to come up here, right? And come around this little range right here. This little range right here. All right. And that would be creating a lower high, but that would be a $6 to $8 move. All right. So I want to catch it right here off this bounce. And then boom. And as you can see, look at this right here. You see what this is? This is a bullish piercing pattern, which lets me know that things are going to be going to the upside anyway. All right. So we got bullish divergence right there. And then we got, this look like a pin bar as well. And then we got a piercing pattern as well. So that's three confluences. We're basically at a bottom, a lower low. So we got to bounce and we got to come up to create a lower high. All right. Let me know if that makes sense. I'm giving y'all 3 certified bangers. So if you lost money last week, number one, get it out your head. You could make that money times 2, times 3 this week. All right? This week. So don't worry about the money that you lost, the plays that didn't go right. Let's focus right here on what we got. All right? Those are 3 solid plays. Okay? And those plays right there will make you some money. I gave y'all the levels. Okay? I literally gave y'all everything. Okay? The only thing you got to do is understand how to play the game. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. I gave you the blueprint and I gave you everything. All you got to do is just run the play. Look at this as like, if I'm a coach, right? Basketball, football, it don't matter. If I'm the coach, all you got to do as a player is run the game. Because I'm giving you the playbook, right? I'm giving you the playbook. I'm giving you my rationale, why I'm getting in, why this makes sense to me, everything. And all you got to do is understand what I'm saying and execute. That's all you got to do. All right? I said, I'll get it back. That's why your video where you said you took a L because of greed. Yeah. I didn't listen, y'all. And that's another thing. I've taken L's because of greed. I don't want y'all to be taking L's because you greedy. I always say you got to balance out your fear and your greed, okay? You always got to balance out your fear and your greed. Sometimes your fear going to get you. Sometimes your greed going to get you. But at the end of the day, when you understand how to play the game, right? When you understand how to play the game, you are going to be unstoppable over time, right? And that's another thing. I want you guys to understand how to zoom out, okay? I want you to zoom out. The one day that you lose $500, the one day that you lose $1,000, that one day ain't going to matter 30 days from now. That one day ain't going to matter 7 months from now. That one day that you lost $600 ain't going to matter 3 weeks from now. Okay? So, understand the big picture. You're going to take L's. Your first trade may be a loser. Your second trade may be a big winner. Right? I want you to understand and learn the art of zooming out. Okay? Once you learn how to zoom out, you're going to be more successful. And those small little stings, those small little losses, they're not going to affect you as much. Because they're not going to affect you as much simply because you, right, understand the long-term game. And you understand how the game works. Okay? Real talk. So, now, we got chips, okay? I want to look at Nvidia and some other chip companies, all right? So let's look at Nvidia real quick. Let's go to Nvids. All right. Nvidia. Nvidia looks like it's going to try to come up to 119. Okay? But we got to get above 115 first. All right? We got to get 115 first. Okay? And then we could be coming up. Now, let me see something real quick. All right, so let me do this. So we got this. All right. Got this trend line right here. Let's make one more. All right. We're going to go to this right here. All right, cool. So if Nvidia can get above this, if it could get above 120, then we coming up. So here's your target for Nvidia, or pay attention. For Nvidia, if we can break above 120, 119.97, and close above that, then we could be coming up here. All right, at least to right here to test this high right here. All right, 2 levels. So if Nvidia could get above 120, we coming to 134. All right, and then 143. All right, so 120 is what you want to look for on Nvidia this week. Right now it's at 110. If we could pump and close on a daily above that level, then we could be, seeing some headway. On a weekly time frame, what do we see right here? What's this, y'all? What do you see on a weekly time frame right here? I see y'all see that? Y'all see that right there? It's a bullish engulfing. This is a bullish indicator. So this next coming week is most likely going to be a green week. All right? It's going to be a green week. Y'all feel me? Y'all feel me? So I'm paying attention to Nvidia as well. All right, I might swing Nvidia as well. Best B said, do I use the MACD? I used to, but the MACD, it be lagging to me, right? This what my problem with the MACD is. I remember I used to use it. I would get in a trade, and that joker would be going the opposite way. But it just signaled that it was time to go up. And I get in, and then I get cooked, right? It lags so much for me. I don't know if I was using the wrong indicator, right? The wrong MACD. But the MACD I was using, I was like, man, I'm better off reading the price action and paying attention to the candles. So that's my problem and my issue with the MACD, honestly. Like, I don't like it, if I'm being honest. So I took that thing off my charts. I only have my EMAs and what else I got? I got my EMAs and my Bollinger Bands and volume. That's all I got. That's all I pay attention to. Why are premiums higher now than normal right now? Twan, simply because there's probably an influx of people buying. It depends on if you're talking about calls or puts, but the beginning of the week is always, the premiums are going to be higher for that week anyway. So that, and then if the market sentiment is bullish and everything is good and everything is okay, what that means is people are excited and they're loading up on their calls, and that's driving the price up on premiums. So that's why premiums are more expensive right now. All right. Yeah, I like the RSI. I've really been using the RSI a lot, and I like the RSI because you can use the RSI for multiple reasons. So yeah, I like the RSI. I think Nvidia will gap, rest, and go tomorrow. Yeah, we gonna see. You know what I'm saying? We gonna see. The thing about it is, I never try to predict the market, but what I do is I will have, my if this and then this statements, and I'll just go right there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, most indicators, you do have to use them in congruence with other indicators. So, so that's that. Like, no one indicator is going to get you what you need, right? No one indicator is gonna, pay attention to only this indicator. No, it don't work like that, right? That's why we got something called confluences, simply because you want multiple things pointing to a reason for you to enter into a trade. Okay? So yeah. So with that being said, um, does anybody have any questions? I'm feeling generous right now. Does anybody have any questions before I get off? All right. If you have questions, drop them in Discord. If you are not, be sure to join the Discord. Come trade with us tomorrow and this week. And then also like this video for me. Okay, that's all you got to do. Like this video for me. And then join the Discord if you are not already. Okay, that's all you got to do. And if y'all don't have any questions, we're going to get up out of here. But I want to open that up real quick. All right. And like I say, if you guys have lost money last week, don't worry about it. You're going to get that money back this week. All right. I just gave y'all the game plan. I just gave y'all everything. It's time to execute and implement. All right, I'm at work with my chart up. There we go, Jeff. Yeah, we're going to get it tomorrow and this week. All right. So I appreciate everybody's time. I appreciate y'all tapping in. Be sure to join the Discord. All right. And y'all enjoy the rest of y'all weekend. Get some rest, get some sleep, journal, do whatever you got to do. And if you in the Discord, I'm going to see y'all tomorrow morning, bright and squirrely. All right. Always remember, get out of your head, go get into this world, because your head is a dangerous place to live, all right? And I always say, the more you study, the less you worry, all right? D Holder, $40 a month, all right? It's only $40 a month. We want to make it affordable, and we want to make it to where everybody could benefit from it, all right? So $40 a month, that's the Discord. Very, 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 this is probably the cheapest you're going to get it for with the most amount of value, okay? And there's a whole bunch of people that can attest to the value of the Discord. All right. So yeah. So yeah, y'all, I appreciate y'all time. Discord is in the comments. If you want to join, it's also in the description box of this video as well. All right. I'm going to see y'all tomorrow morning. We're going to trade. We're going to make some big money this week. And let's get it. All right. Peace.